Alright guys, so what we're going to do now is run Crystal through what we call an RDL, or otherwise in other words, a Romanian deadlift. So there's multiple different variations that we like to use in terms of an RDL. So what we're going to do is going to run you through some technique basics or fundamentals and the two ways that we can perform that as well. So first up, what we're going to do is the basics, which is a barbell. So Crystal, do you want to jump into that barbell there for me? So you can either do this with a supporting rack, obviously depending on your capabilities. Obviously if you can't handle much weight, you know, this is a good safety sort of barrier in case you physically lose your grip, something like that. You don't want to slam it on the floor. Otherwise, if you're like me, I prefer just to lower these handles down, and then that way I just grab it straight out of the handles, and that way I've got a full depth throughout my movement. Completely up to you, but you need to understand your capabilities as well, and then just try what works best for you. So, Crystal, what we're going to do is going to get you to run through this RDL. So what I'll get you to do is grab the bar and pull it towards your legs for me. So what we're going to do is always ensuring the exact same as when we do a squat or anything like else. Our setup is going to be through our feet. So we want to be shoulder width apart. All right, you're not going to be doing anything sumo related here in an RDL, because what we're focusing on doing is we're actually focusing on activating our calves, or our gastrocnemius, our soleus, our glutes, hamstrings, and sometimes you will engage a little bit of erectors, but the main focus of an RDL is actually our lower posterior, so our glutes, hamstrings, calves, and so forth. So what we're going to do is ensure that we're actually aligned. So the soleus is in line with our lower erectors. That way you'll get the full activation of the posterior chain, and you're not going to disable any of your glute action by going wider. So bars to your legs, what we're going to do is we're going to go one thumb width out from the legs on the bar. So go one thumb width out on the bar. As you can see now, she's roughly one thumb width out from the bar. And then she's got a good base of support. The back is well engaged here. The first motion of an RDL is we want to pretty much picture that I've got a rope right now. I'm tying this around her glutes or in through her waist, and I'm pulling her towards me during this motion. So what we're going to do is pull your hips back, lower the lower back. So pretty much you want to picture that you've got a rod here. That way your back is well supported. You can't bend off this rod. We're going to pull through the waist here, pull those hips back, and then what we're going to do is pull through the hamstrings and the glute and raise that bar up your legs. All right, the first motion down, I'm going to grab that towel again, or that rope. I'm going to pull her hips back. Alrighty, we're going to keep the back well supported, run directly around the legs, hit to where that stretch occurs, and then power it on back up again. And then what you want to do is you want to analyze yourself from a side mirror or a coach, obviously from the side. Now, as you can see, there's very minimal bend in the knees. We don't want to go fully locked and stiff-legged, because this is the Romanian deadlift. We've got a slight bend, but all that leverage, as you can see here, her hammies are tight. Look at that. They're firing. So that's exactly what you want to do. You want to load up the hamstrings and the glutes. Right here, that's the chunk of the hamstring. It's on. It's on right there. There you go. So it's really important that you keep that bar close to those legs, because what you're going to do is, as soon as you take that bar away from me, go away from the leg, go down. As soon as she takes that bar away, look where the pressure is. It lines into the lower back and upper back here. As soon as she pulls that bar to her legs, the line of direction goes straight through the glutes and through the hamstrings. As well, it keeps her shoulders locked down and saves any pressure going into her upper trap region or even into her lower back, which is what we don't want to activate during this exercise. So that is exactly how you would do a RDL on a dumbbell, a barbell form. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to get Crystal to put that down. We're going to run over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same technique, but we're going to utilize our dumbbells. So what we want to do, same setup. We're going to grab those dumbbells for me, Crystal. All right, we're going to line up her feet. We're going to go shoulder width apart, same thing again. Same posture, picture that I've got the tail or the rope around her hips. I'm pulling her hips back. She's lowering down, loading up through. As she goes down, I love when I push their knees out. So force the knees out in the motion. You don't want to actually ply your knees fully out. The aim of the game is to not let them buckle in. You want to kind of picture you're going to road them out just a little bit. And that way it will actually load up the hamstrings a lot more in its potential. get that stretch to where you feel it. Now, the aim of the game is to get stretched down just below probably the shins, and that way you're not gonna activate any lower back. If you can get a bigger stretch, by all means do so, but it's not needed. And perfect, power it on there. Another reason that you could, variation of your grip here is, like a bar, if you struggle with lat tightness or anything with trap tightness, what you want to do is actually lock in the lats, lock in the shoulders. So what we can do is we can rotate the dumbbells on a 45, and we can actually run those dumbbells by the side of the body. That way the body's actually in its natural posture on its side. So you're kind of on a 45. And that way she'll get that nice stretch without loading up across this upper band of the trap region here. And that's it. That's 2 variations of an RDL.